To celebrate Slider Sunday all season long, King's Hawaiian is giving away $1 million in a trip to the big game to one lucky winner. Just go to kingshawaiianshowdown.com to enter to win. Earn more entries by playing fun games, voting on your favorite sliders, and discovering delicious game day recipes. That's kingshawaiianshowdown.com for your chance to win $1 million. kingshawaiianshowdown.com.
Representing the men and women on sporting fields across the globe, and especially in Port Adelaide and deep South Australia, two blokes leading the charge that it's okay to be a little bit crap as long as you try hard. It's now time for another Best Team Men podcast.
Hello and welcome to round 7. Best Team Men, thanks to the Aussies network. Jared Walsh, how are you, mate?
This is full on. We are in crisis mode.
We are, aren't we?
Let's timestamp this. We are recording on Thursday, the 12th of March, 2020 at 11:21 a.m.
Yep.
On my way walking to this beautiful studio, thanks to Aussies Network, I realised I was a bit late, and I can tell you why. It's almost becoming comedy why I'm late every week, because I'm never late to anything.
No, it's almost forming the show. We could call this podcast Why is Jared Late?
I hate being late. Anyway, I was thoroughly engaged on my phone because something's happened over in the States. Two things I read this morning. We'll start it off by saying, number one, the Golden State Warriors are going to play against the Brooklyn Nets in a few days' time in front of 0 fans.
So NBA are doing...
They've made the call.
Right.
You think that's big? Just then, literally just then, the Utah Jazz and the Oklahoma City Thunder players took to the court preparing to play in their match, and then they got told to get off the court. They've just walked off the court and the match has officially been postponed.
The match has been postponed.
Yeah, one of their players, Rudy Gobert, he's the center for the Jazz. He's unwell. So the PA announcer, they filmed him saying that the match has been postponed because of Rudy Gobert being unwell. They didn't announce that in the arena. But this is what happened a few days ago. There was a press conference and Rudy Gobert was taking part. It was normal, like a media scrum.
Right.
He stood up, he touched every microphone and recorder in front of him, and he's sick now. So they're alluding to the fact that he's unwell.
Right. So he hasn't been diagnosed with coronavirus.
No.
He could just have a general head cold.
Yes, he could, but they're not taking any precautions. This morning it was announced.
Well, no, they're taking all the precautions.
Well, they're not taking any risks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You dick, Jared. A Juventus player this morning was announced to be tested positive for coronavirus. Mate, this is nuts.
Well, I just got sent this, actually. The 2019-2020 season for the EPL will not be postponed, but all football matches in England will be moved to behind closed doors.
Wow. So what does that mean for Liverpool?
It means they're going to win the title in front of no one.
And this is
and it means the ticket that I had for Aston Villa and Manchester United in 3 weeks' time better get fucking refunded.
My God. So this is all to basically prevent people spreading it.
I think it's a preventative measure. Yeah, it's not a crisis as in everyone's got it, we can't play.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to lock down, and I guess that's what Italy's done now as well. They've locked the country down. So
yeah,
from what I understand, it takes 2 weeks to be in and out of your system. And I think the more that they can lock down these people, because it needs human contact to travel. It doesn't survive outside of the body.
So I heard this fascinating opinion on it, saying that over in Victoria, obviously we'll get to the Women's World Cup final in a sec. Over 86,000 people there, which was great. But then Daniel Andrews has come out and said, you know what, we need to make sure everything's okay. There's a chance that the AFL will play in front of no crowds.
Yeah, I saw that.
But he's all happy for the Formula One to go ahead when there's a fair few Italians in Melbourne from the Ferrari team especially. So, and is that something to do with the money they're making from it? Who knows, mate? But
kickback, maybe.
It's crazy, isn't it? I haven't taken it seriously until now.
Well, I only took it seriously yesterday because my honeymoon got cancelled.
What do you mean?
So Coachella got moved.
Yes, to October.
Yep. So that canned my 1 week leg of the US part.
Right.
And then we were booked to go to Italy, which is obviously no one in, no one out.
Yep.
And Spain, which is...
When was this supposed to be?
We were meant to leave Easter week. So Wednesday the 8th. and then get back on the 8th of May. So Spain's about to go into lockdown as well, apparently. So their football matches are going behind closed doors as well. So it had no real point in going. And most of the trip, about 70% of the trip, we weren't able to do anymore. So
I've never experienced anything like this. Like it's so
not in my lifetime, no.
bizarre. And it's weird because you want to make jokes about it, but
Yeah.
people are dying.
They are
so you
dying.
can't make jokes
No.
about it. And you can't say people are overreacting because you can see the growth of it.
I think they're overreacting with toilet paper.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even use toilet paper anyway, so it doesn't affect me.
Straight in the shower.
Actually, that was what my my Sri Lankan colleague says. He's like, mate, just wash. Don't
Yeah.
use the paper.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, that's a bit
that
full on.
That was full on. But you're right. I haven't taken it seriously until this week.
Yeah, it's nuts. I wonder if I'll have to work because can you imagine me emceeing in front of zero crowds? I mean, there's been a couple of Adelaide United games which has been close when we were going through really dark
You
times.
get tips from the Gold Coast ground announcer.
Yeah, I wonder if we will though. So broadcasters will still have to go. They'll have to commentate the game.
Yeah, but you won't have.
But there's going to
Who
be
are you announcing the substitutions to the opposition team? Who's going off and on?
maybe I need to.
Yeah,
I don't know. I still want to go.
that's a great question.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a great. I'll have to work that out. Why not? It's pretty nuts. It's obviously caused a bit of a dampener on the launch of the AFL season, but not just that as well. Like it's for all these major sports too, because I heard Adam Treloar saying that he's intimidated by big crowds. Jack Revolt said he loves big crowds,
Yeah.
but what about in places like in the EPL and is it? Tell me the name of the Italian league. I want to hear you pronounce it. Sierra A? Or R?
I say A. I call it Serie A.
Sierra A, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've heard people say it's Sierra A.
Okay.
It doesn't
Probably
matter.
depends where you're from.
Well, yeah, it affects Champions League. Because
It
if you're
absolutely does.
mentally not prepared,
No.
this could be a huge statement on your football club, whether what they do in Europe for the next couple of years. Because Champions League, there's a lot of bonuses, there's a lot of incentives
Yeah.
and kickbacks when it comes to contracts, and
Yeah.
also teams as well for relegation.
Yeah. Let me put this to you. It's Thursday, the 26th of March, at 9:45 p.m.
Yep.
Jack Higgins kicks a goal from the boundary line to put Richmond in front late in the last quarter.
Yeah.
How did?
That's crazy.
It's
isn't
just
it?
a weird thought to, and it hasn't happened yet. But there could potentially be no one in the stands.
Yep.
And players will tell you they feed off of the energy of the crowd.
Bloody oath
They'd
they
be
do.
lying if they said they didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be strange. I don't think we've heard the end of it. It feels
No.
like it's just the beginning because it's spreading so fast.
We-
And if it's happening in other cities, it's going to come to Australia.
It'll get here eventually.
Like-
maybe the world needs to go on lockdown for 2 weeks. Don't leave your house. No work, paid compensation.
Yep.
You just don't leave. You just sit there and watch Fox Footy for 2 weeks.
I mean, that's not bad.
No,
That's not a bad
I'd be
thing.
pretty happy with that.
Because I thought about that. If we needed to go into quarantine, if they say we'll put you up in a hotel,
Yeah,
and I'm not a hotel snob, so that's okay. But as long as I've got a PlayStation and
you'd
Wi-Fi,
be pretty happy.
I'm laughing.
Now, you were there. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Women's T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was played in front of no one. Because you
Yeah.
were there with 86,000 people.
Yeah, I know. I just can't.
It wouldn't be half, or not even half. It would just not be the spectacle that it was.
I can't imagine it, and that's the thing. I think because it's not happening here, and I don't feel unwell, so I don't know what it's
Yeah.
like for the people who do.
Yeah.
But it's all precautionary. So I don't know. Let's talk about that on Sunday. The most full-on week. I think I worked out I had 10 flights in 10 days.
That's amazing.
And Sydney was an experience in itself because
There was no cricket play. There was
no
one
cric-
game.
Exactly,
Half
mate.
a game.
So we got there the day before and it was a little bit overcast, but then the next morning, I've never seen rain like that before. I've never seen it in Adelaide, rain from the start of the day to the sun setting. Just didn't stop.
In March.
In March as well. And it was England versus India first, and Tammy Beaumont, who used to play for the Adelaide Strikers, she was there, and I had a chat to her, and she said, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, the big theme from the England side, and for the people who didn't follow the Women's World Cup, the two semis were at the SCG on the Thursday, the winning side's going through to the final on the Sunday. If it was rained out, the teams who qualified highest on the ladder would go through.
Do you agree with that?
Well, the issue that they had, which I agree with, there was no standby day.
Yeah.
So it was basically Sorry.
It or nothing.
It or nothing, yeah. I think there should have been a standby day for a final, definitely.
Yep.
So they were shattered. They're like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
India go through, which I think really affected India because they had a pretty easy way through the tournament. Then they didn't play. And then I'm not putting any mayo on this. The rain stopped at the end of the England-India game when it was supposed to finish.
Right.
Australia batted. The rain started during the innings break. It stopped. They had to bat for 13 overs.
Yep.
It got to the 11th over, then it started raining again, but they got the overs in, and Australia won. They go through, and then they play the best they've played
all tournament.
as a team. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Alyssa Healy.
She was
Knocking
outstanding.
it out of the park.
And at the start of the tournament, I remember we had to do this thing where you got players to watch. So you have to say on the big screen, these are the players to watch this tournament. And the thing was, Alyssa Healy leading up to the tournament was playing like shit. And she puts on that performance, which is great. What I loved about it, there's a couple of things that stood out. First of all, let's talk about the cricket.
Yep.
And that was, Elise Perry didn't play because she got injured in Victoria against New Zealand.
Pretty stiff.
Yes. But what I love is that Elise Perry is like Sam Kerr. They are the poster child of the poster woman of that sport.
Yep.
That day on Sunday, unleash new heroes. We didn't know enough about Megan Shooter. Now, you and I know Shooter, so we can say we know her, but she was the highest wicket taker in the tournament.
Yep.
As you said, Elise Perry. Rachel Haynes, who missed out dancing on stage with Katy Perry because she had to be drug tested.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Actually, I read that and it frustrated me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The cricket side of things was great. For India, they weren't prepared because they didn't play. No. But you see their opening batter, Shafali Verma, she's 16. And I don't know if I told you, she growing up had to cut her hair.
Yes. Yep.
So that was amazing. And they choked. Like a 16-year-old.
She went out pretty cheaply.
She went out of the first over.
Yeah.
So, but, mate, she's 16.
Yeah. Big occasion, 86,000 people.
Exactly.
MCG. Yeah.
The crowd was brilliant. Not once during our game day did we mention Katy Perry, which I really like that because it wasn't us saying...
It made it about the game and not...
Yeah. So we're not going, you're here for a Katy Perry concert and in the lead up watch some cricket. No. Katy Perry wasn't mentioned, which is great.
So she was on after?
She played 2 songs before. And a set afterwards.
Right.
And the other good thing about it is... Like when you become a dad, you'll soften up, and you go, as a father of a daughter, this was more about opportunity for women. Now they didn't go, we're better than the men, we deserve more opportunities than the men. They're going, we just want a fair share of this.
Of course.
And they did. And you can watch these women who won't get that opportunity again. They'll never play in front of that crowd again.
No.
To go, they deserve that, and people turned up.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. The best event I've been a part of, man. It was just special. And even more so at the end, we didn't leave the MCG till like 2 a.m. We had beers sitting in the footy change rooms. I felt like I'd won the grand final. Like walking across the MCG with a beer in my hand going, this is awesome.
Yeah. And you had a kick?
I went and bought a footy.
On the G?
Yeah, I went and bought a footy, and the woman who sold it to me had a Port Adelaide hat on. And I said to her, you're a Port
Was this
fan.
at an AFL store?
This is like a
something?
knockoff, I think a knockoff AFL store in the city.
Yep.
Formula 1 and football, I think it was called. Anyway,
it's like the Bilo brand or something like that.
She said, you're Jared. What?
Oh, was this? So you bought it here?
No, in Melbourne.
In Melbourne?
She said, you're Jared. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, I watch you at Port games and I love your daughter on Instagram. I'm like,
amazing.
I mean...
Do you get a discount?
No. $10, but I literally got it just to say I had a kick.
Yeah.
So it was brilliant, mate.
Why didn't Adelaide get a game?
Good question. Don't know. They had warm-up games.
Yeah, I knew that.
I think they wanted to keep it pretty small.
Central.
So they had Perth.
You can play
Perth, Sydney, Canberra.
You can play a Thailand, Sri Lanka game at
Melbourne as
Karen
well.
Rolton.
Yeah, you could.
You know?
Yeah, Thailand,
Easy.
mate. Just go.
Not saying we have to have an Australian game here, but a official.
Yeah, well, they will with the men's. So the men's will have some in Adelaide, but I agree, mate, because Karen Rolton Oval is a beautiful venue.
Amazing.
It's incredible, man. So, yeah, that was it. It was... I'm exhausted, but it was
worth it.
It was bloody brilliant, mate, just to be a part of the whole thing.
No, that's great.
Yeah, and what made me excited, just having a look around the G and going, footy's coming back soon.
Yeah,
like that's I'm ready. Like there's a one day tomorrow, Australia playing New Zealand in the men's, just a one dayer.
Where at?
SCG.
Okay.
And
might rain out.
I'm ready for football now.
Yeah.
What are you like?
Oh, I've been ready for footy since.
You're looking good as well.
The prelim final last year.
Yeah.
So I've been hanging for it, and my fucking brother decided to get married on round 1 weekend.
Yeah,
so
it's selfish.
Pretty stoked about that.
It's
That's
really
going in the speech.
Well, let's hope that the wedding has the coronavirus and no one goes. All right, so let's talk about footy.
Yep.
And I've done heaps of the talking this one, so guide us through this one, mate.
I was just going to get your thoughts on 3 categories.
Yep.
So I want your premier, your Brownlow medalist, and your stinker of the season. And that can be a player or it can be a club.
Okay. Have you had time to think about this?
A little bit.
You go first.
Okay. So my premier is, and I'll explain why with all these, West Coast.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
They won't lose a game in Perth. Nick Nat back to full fitness.
Yep.
And Tim Kelly from Geelong.
Yep.
Good luck stopping that midfield, getting it down to that forward line.
Yep.
Very tough to beat. And then obviously a back line with McGovern and Hearn and all those guys.
Yep.
Very tough. So they're going to qualify pretty highly, I reckon, and get a couple of home finals, and they're going to be in really good shape.
So you're kind of like saying that, West Coast won that grand final in between Richmond's 2-1s. Maybe it's West Coast's turn to have that down year and come back.
Yeah, and then on the 5th year, imagine a West Coast versus Richmond grand final.
Yeah, not bad.
That'd be good.
Not bad from you.
My Brownlow medalist, I've got Bontempelli.
Yep.
Okay, purely, he's a gun.
Yep.
There's no denying that. But there's a lot of talk about him early.
Yeah.
About how good he is, captain, 24 years old.
Yep.
He's played well in the preseason game. So there's going to be eyes on him.
Yep.
So he's going to get early votes if he plays well.
Yep.
And that's pretty key in a Brownlow. If you can get out early, you can tend
We're
to...
very similar in our thoughts on this.
Okay, that's good. My stinker, I've gone for a club.
Okay.
Carlton. I think everyone's expecting them to shoot up the ladder a little bit.
Yeah.
They played well towards the last half of the season when Teague went in. But I feel like, I can't see where the improvement's coming from.
Not bad. Not bad from you.
Thank you.
Okay. My premier, I agree with you. I think West Coast.
Yeah.
I was thinking that on the drive in. I've got to tell you why I was late as well.
Okay.
West Coast, I agree with you. They haven't lost players.
No.
They've gained players. And what that does, having Tim Kelly there from Geelong, it frees up the other midfielders like Shuey, who was announced captain, Gaff, who is unbelievable.
He didn't play in that grand final either. You got to remember that.
Well, that's because he belted Brayshaw, so it's kind of fair enough. I mean, he's knocked his jaw out.
Elliot Yeo's in the top 5 players in the league.
Elliot Yeo is so underrated,
Yeah.
and people are starting to recognise him now. He's a freak. And also, who's the guy from Brisbane? He used to play at Brisbane and is in the West Coast. He won the flag with West Coast. SA boy.
Yeah, number 8.
What's his name? Let's just sit here and just talk about it. Oh, shit. I mean, this is one of those awkward moments. And people listening, like the 3 people who listen, including Glenn Ackman in jail, they're going, mate, it's yeah.
I know his brother.
Yeah.
He should play with his brother.
Yeah, that's it.
What's his name? Jack Redden.
Jack Redden,
Yes.
exactly. Jack Redden won Player of the Finals in West Coast Premiership year.
Yeah.
He's a gun
So
as
he's
well.
no slouch.
Exactly. So,
And like I
that'll
said,
be
you
great.
get Nick Nat back to full fitness.
Yep. And you have Kennedy, Darling.
Petrocelli, who's the fastest bloke I've ever seen on 2
Petrocelli's
legs.
great too.
He's lightning.
And McGovern as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, they will be.
Does Willie Rioli out hurt him?
Yeah, I think so. They've got Charlie Cameron's brother, who had a couple of games last year as well. And to see what Charlie Cameron's turned into now.
His brother could be anything.
Charlie Cameron, mate, is, I reckon, my favourite player in the AFL.
Okay.
Just to see, he's got his own area now.
Yep.
And he's got confidence, and I just love him. He just lights it up. So I reckon he'll be All-Australian forward pocket once again, straight away.
Yep.
So Brownlow medalist. I had a look at this man up close last year because I kissed him. I didn't. I just needed to.
Was he a good hugger after?
No. Okay, so, and this isn't too obvious, but Bont I agree with because he's tall.
Yep.
And he's one of those new age midfielders who's, remember a midfielder used to be probably shorter than us, right?
Yeah.
Around 6 foot, get the ball and distribute it. But these ones now, they're big bodied, tall. I reckon Paddy Cripps.
Yeah, okay. Well,
And-
if Carlton win enough games, definitely.
Exactly, but they don't necessarily have to because if he gets heaps of 2, similar when Gold Coast played and Ablett won the
it.
Brownlow,
Yeah, that's true.
Cripps is good.
Yep.
Sam Walsh is next rung
Yep.
below him,
Yep.
but around him, there's not heaps of incredible midfielders.
No. So they're not going to steal. They're not going to vote steal from him.
Exactly.
And like you said, I like how you talk about their size. So Bontempelli and Cripps, they're playing key position in the SANFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easily.
Exactly.
And they can push forward and play key position.
Yep.
So you can keep those guys on the field and they can have an impact for the whole 100 minutes. Because there was a photo of, I think, before the bushfire game of Cripps standing next to Grundy.
Yep.
And there wasn't a lot of
Exactly.
much
No, he's a
difference at
freak.
all.
Okay, my stinker. You might laugh at this.
Okay.
Buddy Franklin.
No, I can see it.
I don't think the Swans are going to have a good year, and I don't think Buddy's going to have a good year. So he's not playing round one because he's injured.
Yep.
And apparently he has dropped so much weight. Like people are saying, I spoke to in Sydney their social media manager who used to work at the Hurricanes, I think. So I met her through that. Said that Buddy's looking in the best shape of his career, but he's starting to get injured a bit. And
Age.
there's no support for him either.
No,
there's
he's
not
it.
really
He's it.
any support.
Yep.
So
How long's he got left on that 9-year contract?
I reckon 3.
Does he last it?
No.
I don't reckon he does either.
He does.
Does he come back to Melbourne for a year?
Maybe. It's going to be interesting, but I don't think Buddy will have. I mean, stink is a very harsh word, but you asked me to give my view.
Yes, I
and
did.
There you go. So
One off the top, though.
Go.
Who's a surprise packet?
surprise packet team.
Yep.
I thought about this yesterday, and I'll sound biased. I reckon Port Adelaide have such a strong list. There'll be decent players that can't get into the side. Yes, there's injuries and things like that, but if you have a fully fit Port Adelaide, so you're saying Jack Watts is fully fit, Ollie Wines is fully fit, Charlie Dixon's fully fit, you've got some of those midfielders and like a Connor Rosie who played half forward last year going into the midfield. I reckon Brad Ebert will struggle to get into the side.
Yep.
And they spoke about that on the game over the weekend. But players like Butters and Dersma, they have to keep playing those kids.
Yeah.
So
That's the
I
future.
think some of those older players might struggle to get in.
Yep.
But if Port do the things better that they did shit last year, I think they could put a real fight up.
Yep.
Western Bulldogs, a lot of people are saying, are going to be really good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Josh Bruce is a handy player.
Very handy. I can't believe St Kilda let him go.
Yeah, St Kilda haven't made very good choices.
Well,
Not really.
getting Brad Hill in wasn't a bad one.
Yeah, they paid heaps for him though,
Yeah, they
so
did.
he better perform. But he's a gun,
He's
and
a
he's
gun.
young as well.
Yeah, he's got years ahead of him.
Yeah.
My surprise packet's Melbourne.
You think they'll do well?
I think they'll do well. They'll do better.
Well, they can't. Yeah, well, they can't do much worse.
No, exactly. So I think they've added to their list. I mean, they got pumped in a prelim 2 years ago.
Yep.
And they haven't lost a lot of players from that. They've added Stephen May, who had a real bad first year.
Yep.
He came back overweight and got injured, and he's in. They've added Harley Bennell, who injured himself yesterday.
Yeah.
But if they can get him going, he'll be good.
Yep.
Langdon from Fremantle.
Yep.
They've added some quality players.
Yeah.
I can't see them challenging top four, but I think they'll sit between probably 9 and 6.
All right. Just before we go, I've got a plan for next week.
Yep.
And because I'm back now, I'm going to
Full-time.
organise for Port Pirates.
Yes.
And you're not going away now, are you?
No.
Great.
I'm here until the coronavirus is here.
Fantastic.
So-
Well, speaking about travel, I live in the Port Adelaide area. Big celebration over the past 7 days that the Northern Connector had opened up, which is brilliant. So if
go
you
on
need
it?
to get to the Barossa, it takes less time if you need to go to Gawler, which is great. What has happened is over the past 12 months, they've closed off the connection to South Road. So if you want to go to the city, normally what I do, or if I wanted to go to the Pines, you would go up the Port River Expressway, turn left onto South Road, get onto South Road, you're in the city. Tick. Perfect. It's reopened now. Brilliant. I thought I'm going to try it today. So there were 2 exit lanes. I took the first one instead of the second one, and I ended up in Elizabeth because you can't get off the Northern Connector. So for anyone listening, it works. And it took me double the time to get to the city because I took the wrong turn.
Surely there's going to be measures in place if that happens.
It's just disgraceful. I'm going to be early next week. This is what I want you to think about.
Okay.
I need for the next episode, because
Yes.
next episode we're going to kick off the AFL season.
Yep.
I need your top 3 hype up songs
Okay.
that will get you in the mood for sport. It could get you in the mood to do a workout at the gym.
Done.
Just things that will get you fired up. And what we could do, if we get 3 each, we could get some listener ones as well. Maybe like make a little playlist on
Yeah,
Spotify
absolutely.
or whatevs or SoundCloud.
Yep.
How do they follow us on social media?
At Best Team Men on Twitter and facebook.com/Best Team Men.
Awesome. We mentioned this in the last one as well. If you're thinking about advertising on podcasts, podvertising is a way to do it through Oddscast Network. So jump online, check them out. The boys have been very good to us as well. And we're consistent. Hey, I'm consistently late, but we're back. We're going to have more structure.
Yeah.
I'm going to have more involvement.
We've already got a new intro.
Outstanding intro.
Andy did well.
Andy did great. I mean, he hasn't invoiced us yet, so we'll just be able to judge of that afterwards. So, see you next week.
See you, mate.